Your CI builds just started failing with too many requests. You have reached your pull rate limit. All agents, all repos, all dead. You assume an outage, but Docker Hub is fine. You clear the cache and make it worse. The culprit? 5 agents behind a NAT gateway, all appearing as one IP, burning through Docker Hub's 100 pull limit in 30 minutes. Here's exactly why. Welcome to TheCodeForge. Before we dig into that production issue, let's cover Docker Registry Hub. A Docker registry is a server that stores and serves container images. Think of it as a Git repository for images. Docker Hub is the default registry, but you can use AWS ECR, Google Artifact Registry, or self-host one. Images are addressed as registry host /namespace/repository, tag. Tags are convenient but mutable. The maintainer can move the v10 tag to a different image. A digest is an immutable SHA-256 hash that always points to the exact same content. For production, always pin to a specific version tag or digest to avoid surprise breakage. Here's how Docker image names break down. The short form nginx expands to Docker, io/library/nginx-latest. For community images, you include the namespace. For private registries, you specify the full host. And for maximum reproducibility, pin to a digest using the SHA-256 syntax. The push workflow is straightforward. Build an image, tag it with your Docker Hub username and repository name, authenticate with Docker login, then push. Docker only uploads layers that don't already exist on the registry, so subsequent pushes are faster. Here's a complete example. We create a simple node. JS server, build it with a Docker file, tag it with our username, log in, push to Docker Hub, then pull and run it on any machine. Notice the tag format, your Docker Hub username hello web server, v10. Docker Hub public repositories are free and visible to everyone. Private repositories require authentication. For teams needing multiple private repos or no rate limits, self-hosted registries or cloud options like AWS ECR are better. The choice depends on cost, security, and operational overhead. You can run your own registry in 60 seconds using the official registry 2 image. Start it on port 5000, tag an image with localhost, 5000 as the prefix, then push and pull locally. No rate limits, full control. For production, always add TLS. Docker Hub rate limits are per IP, not per user. Anonymous users get 100 pulls per 6 hours per IP. Authenticated free users get 200. When multiple CI agents share a NAT gateway, they all appear as one IP, quickly exhausting the limit. This is exactly what caused the incident we opened with. You can check your current rate limit using the Docker Hub API. The rate limit remaining header shows how many pulls you have left. To avoid hitting limits, set up a pull-through cache registry with registry proxy remote URL pointing to Docker Hub. Then configure your CI agents to use it as a mirror. A pull-through cache sits between your CI agents and Docker Hub. The first time an image is pulled, it fetches from Docker Hub and caches the layers. Every subsequent pull is served from the local cache, bypassing Docker Hub entirely and avoiding rate limits. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. The team had 5 CI agents behind a corporate NAT gateway, so all outbound traffic appeared as a single IP. Each build pulled 3-4 base images. With 30 engineers triggering builds, they made over 200 pulls per hour, exceeding the 100 pull anonymous limit in 30 minutes. The fix had 4 parts. First, authenticate all CI agents with Docker login using a shared service account, doubling the limit to 200. Second, deploy a pull-through cache registry. Third, configure registry mirrors in daemon, JSON. Fourth, mirror the most common base images to AWS ECR as a backup. When rate limits hit, some teams run Docker system prune thinking it's a cache issue. This actually makes things worse by clearing all cached images, forcing fresh pulls from Docker Hub and consuming even more of the rate limit. Never bake credentials into a Docker file. Anyone who pulls the image can extract the token using Docker history. Use Docker Build Kit's secret flag or env files excluded from version control instead. The latest tag is mutable. The maintainer can move it to a different image, causing your production build to pull unexpected changes. Always pin to a specific version tag or digest for reproducibility. The article mentions rate limit headers, but does not show how to programmatically monitor them in CI. Add a step to parse, rate limit remaining, and alert when below a threshold to avoid surprise blocks. The article describes a pull-through cache, but omits authentication. For production, the cache itself should authenticate to Docker Hub to use the authenticated pull quota. This snippet shows how to pass credentials via environment variables to the registry container. The article covers rate limits in Kubernetes but does not mention ImagePullPolicy, always versus if not present. Using always forces a pull on every pod start, quickly exhausting limits. Set if not present or pin to digests to reduce pulls. When debugging registry issues, start by checking your rate limit status using the API headers. Verify you're authenticated with Docker login. Use Docker inspect to check the actual image digest. If you suspect secrets were exposed, use Docker history to search for them in layers. Let's run through some common interview questions. What is the difference between a tag and a digest? A tag is a mutable label. A digest is an immutable SHA-256 hash of the image content. How do Docker Hub rate limits work? Anonymous, 100 pulls 6H per IP, authenticated free, 200 pulls 6H, tracked by IP or user account. How would you mitigate rate limits in a CI pipeline? Authenticate runners, use a pull-through cache, mirror images to an internal registry. And a few frequently asked questions. What is the difference between a Docker registry and Docker Hub? A registry is any server storing images. Docker Hub is a specific hosted registry by Docker Inc. Is Docker Hub free? Yes, for unlimited public repos. Free tier includes one private repo and rate limits. Can I use Docker without Docker Hub? Yes, you can build and run images locally or use alternative registries like ECR, GCR, or self-hosted. To wrap up, a Docker registry is the storage server for images. Tags are convenient but mutable, pinned to digests in production. Docker Hub rate limits are per IP, so authenticate your CI runners and use a pull-through cache. And never hardcode secrets in images. Ready to go deeper? Up next, Docker security best practices, then multi-stage Docker builds, then Docker Swarm basics. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.